Will Brock Lesnar's name reappear on the WWE roster page again? The 10-time WWE World Champion, who has always been a force to be reckoned with inside the squared circle, recently found himself caught up in a legal controversy after it was revealed that he was involved in Janelle Grant's lawsuit against WWE, Vince McMahon, and John Laurinaitis. This led to Lesnar being pulled from creative plans and promotional material, including a notable absence from the Royal Rumble. Currently, fans are left to wonder what's next for the Beast incarnate. But let's take a deep dive into what really happened, and who knows, maybe you'll find the answer if you stay till the end. For a while now, WWE fans have been asking, where's Brock Lesnar? The legendary wrestler hasn't been in the spotlight since his name surfaced in connection with a sexual assault lawsuit involving Vince McMahon. Before the controversy, there were reports that Lesnar was considering a WWE comeback, but those plans likely took a back seat once the accusations hit the headlines. Since then, fans and reporters alike have been asking people like Triple H the million-dollar question: is Brock Lesnar ever stepping back into the ring? While his return remains uncertain, a recent sighting sent WWE fans into a frenzy. Not for what he's doing, but for how he currently looks. The internet exploded when a photo of Lesnar appeared showing a dramatic transformation that no one expected. Let's face it, when you think of Brock Lesnar, two words immediately come to mind: massive and muscular. He has always been a walking mountain of strength, often surrounded by rumors, and assumptions about steroid use have followed Brock Lesnar throughout his career. In a recent photo, Lesnar stands between two friends, dressed in cowboy gear with a white shirt, jeans, and of course a classic cowboy hat. But it's not the outfit that grabbed attention. It's the fact that Brock Lesnar looks surprisingly skinny, and by skinny, we mean a far cry from the hulking beast fans are used to seeing. Don't get me wrong, he still looks healthy, smiling and rocking the laid-back country vibe, but for fans accustomed to his massive physique, it's a bit of a shock. So what's going on? If Lesnar's physique has slimmed down, it's likely he's taking a break from the intense training and possibly the performance enhancers that kept him in peak beast incarnate form. But hey, this is Brock Lesnar we're talking about, so don't be surprised if another photo surfaces a few months from now showing him back to his muscle-bound self, ready to throw opponents around the ring. For now, WWE fans can only hope this cowboy phase is just a pit stop before his long-awaited return to wrestling. After all, whether you love him or hate him, Brock Lesnar knows how to light up the WWE universe, especially as the villainous powerhouse everyone loves to hate. And honestly, who wouldn't want to see that again? Now, the million-dollar question: why is Brock Lesnar's name coming up in Vince McMahon's shocking sex trafficking lawsuit? The wrestling world has been thrown into chaos with the latest allegations against WWE's longtime chairman and CEO, Vince McMahon. A lawsuit has surfaced accusing McMahon of sexual assault and sex trafficking, a claim so serious that even fans across the industry find it hard to believe. But what makes this even more jaw-dropping is a shocking revelation buried within the lawsuit. McMahon allegedly arranged for the victim to engage with other men, including former WWE executive John Laurinaitis, and none other than former WWE champion Brock Lesnar. Let that sink in for a moment. Brock Lesnar, a name often associated with dominance in both WWE and UFC, is now tangled in one of the most explosive controversies to hit professional wrestling in years. According to a detailed report from the Wall Street Journal, the lawsuit claims McMahon instructed the victim, identified as a former WWE employee, to create personalized sexual content for a WWE superstar, which was allegedly part of McMahon's effort to retain the wrestler. While the lawsuit doesn't explicitly name the wrestler, it describes him as a UFC fighter and WWE talent, a description sources close to the case say fits Brock Lesnar. The report also reveals deeply troubling behavior allegedly by McMahon, with the victim accusing him of using toys on her without consent, causing physical injuries. To make matters worse, McMahon reportedly paid her just $1 million as part of a settlement, but then failed to make further payments, effectively voiding the deal. With the settlement collapsed, the victim came forward with these accusations, and there were also fresh allegations involving WWE legend Brock Lesnar. According to the victim, after Lesnar signed a lucrative new WWE contract, McMahon allegedly sent her a chilling text saying that part of the deal was you. If that wasn't shocking enough, McMahon reportedly gave the victim's phone number to Lesnar, who later contacted her. The victim claims that Lesnar invited her for what he referred to as a play date in December 2021. However, a snowstorm ended up derailing those plans. And let's not forget that John Laurinaitis, the former head of talent relations and longtime WWE figure, was also named as a defendant in the lawsuit. Laurinaitis, known for his behind-the-scenes role in shaping WWE's roster, now finds himself accused of being complicit in this disturbing case. The victim's lawyer, Ann Callis, issued a powerful statement emphasizing her client's bravery in coming forward. Today's complaint seeks to hold accountable two WWE executives who sexually assaulted and trafficked plaintiff Janelle Grant, as well as the organization that facilitated or turned a blind eye to the abuse and then swept it under the rug. She is an incredibly private and courageous person who has suffered deeply at the hands of Mr. McMahon and Mr. Laurinaitis. As if the lawsuit wasn't damning enough, another bombshell dropped the same day when a former WWE reporter released a video during a Vice documentary, where she and others spoke out against Brock Lesnar's behavior. The documentary featured explosive accounts, including one from former WWE personality Terry Reynolds, who recalled a very unsettling incident involving Lesnar. Reynolds described the event at the Insurrection pay-per-view, where she claims Lesnar exposed himself to her in an apparent attempt to intimidate or humiliate her. According to Reynolds, she was backstage conducting interviews when she heard her name called, and she entered a room where Lesnar was present alongside her then-husband Dustin Runnels, also known as Goldust. That's when the incident occurred. Brock was very new to the business, and he exposed himself to me at the Insurrection pay-per-view like a real jerk, Reynolds said. And Brock did the whole thing. I know, Reynolds said, explaining how she went to her dressing room and Dustin came and told her, "Don't sell it," to which she replied, "I'm not selling it. Not going to," meaning let it lie and leave it alone. While she chose to let it lie at the time, the story is now resurfacing in a much harsher way, making things much worse for the wrestler involved. Despite all that, rumors have still been swirling for weeks about Brock Lesnar's potential return to WWE, leaving fans excited and eager to see the Beast incarnate back in action. But with fresh allegations resurfacing, his comeback is now hanging by a thread, and the situation has reached a point where Lesnar's involvement with WWE seems more uncertain than ever. The newly formed parent company, TKO, overseeing both WWE and UFC, recently released a statement distancing itself from anything tied to Vince McMahon, who is at the center of a damning sexual trafficking lawsuit. The most jaw-dropping revelation is that McMahon allegedly tried to use Janelle Grant, the plaintiff, to lure Lesnar back to WWE by asking her to engage with him. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Brock Lesnar has been quietly removed from all WWE creative plans for the foreseeable future. Initially, he was expected to make a triumphant surprise return at the Royal Rumble, a moment that would have electrified the WWE universe and seemed to be part of the original plan. Lesnar's surprising elimination by Dominic Mysterio, setting the stage for a high-profile feud ending in matches at the Elimination Chamber and against WWE Intercontinental Champion Gunther at WrestleMania 40 instead. Rising star Braun Strowman stepped into the spotlight, taking Lesnar's slot in the Royal Rumble match, and fans also noticed Lesnar's sudden absence from the WWE 2K Supercard mobile game, which speaks volumes about his current status. For now, WWE appears to be taking a cautious approach, benching Lesnar while navigating the legal storm surrounding McMahon and the company. There's no official word on when or if Lesnar will return to programming, leaving fans in suspense over what's next for one of wrestling's most iconic figures. But with these allegations now tied to his name, the question looms, can he ever truly return to the top? As we consider Lesnar's future, it's impossible not to reflect on the incredible journey that brought him here in the first place. From his meteoric rise as the next big thing to his UFC dominance and his triumphant return to WWE, Lesnar has created a legacy unlike any other. We'll expand on the lawsuit in just a minute, but first, let's take a deep dive into the man behind the Beast incarnate persona. The notorious Beast incarnate, born on July 12, 1977, in the small town of Webster, South Dakota, Brock Edward Lesnar's story begins on a dairy farm with his parents, Stephanie and Richard Lesnar. Growing up alongside two older brothers, Troy and Chad, and a younger sister, Brandy, Brock learned the value of hard work early in life. However, his path to stardom was anything but conventional. At just 17, Lesnar joined the Army National Guard, hoping for a career handling explosives, but his red-green colorblindness forced a reassignment to desk work. When he failed a typing test, Lesnar was discharged and found himself working in construction before his true passion, wrestling, came calling. In high school, Lesnar played football and excelled on the wrestling mat, finishing third in the state championships during his senior year, a talent that earned him a spot at Bismarck State College. At Bismarck State College, Lesnar quickly made his mark. As a freshman in 1997, he placed fifth nationally in the 275-pound division. By his sophomore year, he dominated the competition, claiming the NJCAA Heavyweight Championship in 1998. Lesnar's success caught the attention of the University of Minnesota, where he transferred on a wrestling scholarship. There, he formed a lifelong friendship with Shelton Benjamin, his roommate and assistant coach, who would later join him in WWE. In 2000, he won the NCAA Division I Heavyweight Wrestling Championship, capping a stellar run that included 2 NCAA All-American honors, 2 Big Ten Conference titles, and an overall record of 106-5. Still in 2000, Brock Lesnar began his professional wrestling journey by signing with the World Wrestling Federation, WWF, and heading to Ohio Valley Wrestling, the company's developmental territory. There, he formed a powerhouse duo with his former college roommate, Shelton Benjamin, known as the Minnesota Stretching Crew. The pair dominated the OVW scene, clinching the Southern Tag Team Championship 3 times. Lesnar's main roster debut came on March 18, 2002, on Raw, where he exploded onto the scene as a destructive force, attacking competitors in a hardcore championship match. Under the guidance of Paul Heyman, his new manager, who was ever the master strategist, Lesnar was dubbed the next big thing, a moniker that would soon prove prophetic. Lesnar's first feud was with the Hardy Boys, showcasing his strength by defeating Jeff Hardy at Backlash in April 2002 via knockout, a rare and emphatic victory, which he repeated against Matt Hardy on Raw, solidifying his reputation as an unstoppable rookie by May. And Heyman teamed up with Lesnar to defeat the Hardy Boys at Judgment Day, marking his first pay-per-view victory under the newly rebranded WWE banner. In June 2002, Lesnar skyrocketed to prominence by winning the prestigious King of the Ring tournament, dismantling stars like Bubba Ray Dudley, Booker T, Test, and Rob Van Dam in the finals. This victory earned him a WWE Undisputed Championship match at SummerSlam, and Lesnar's rise continued as he vanquished Hollywood Hulk Hogan in August, setting the stage for a monumental clash with The Rock at SummerSlam. In an unforgettable performance, Lesnar defeated The Rock to become the youngest WWE champion in history at just 25 years old. Adding to his accolades, he achieved this feat in a record-breaking 126 days since his debut. Second only to Ric Flair, following his victory, Lesnar became exclusive to the SmackDown brand, forcing Raw general manager Eric Bischoff to create the World Heavyweight Championship for his brand, while the WWE Undisputed Championship was rebranded as the WWE Championship. After briefly retiring post-WrestleMania 36, Brock Lesnar shocked the WWE Universe by returning in 2021 with a brand new look, rocking a cowboy farmer vibe complete with a beard, ponytail, and of course, the hat. At SummerSlam that August, Lesnar made an unforgettable entrance, confronting Universal Champion Roman Reigns right after Reigns' victory over John Cena. Lesnar quickly established himself as a free agent during the WWE draft, giving him the freedom to appear on any brand, and his rivalry with Reigns heated up, leading to a title match at Crown Jewel in October 2021. While Lesnar lost due to interference from the Usos, he didn't go down quietly, clearing the locker room in a chaotic brawl with Reigns that got him suspended by WWE authority Adam Pearce, who, of course, didn't escape Lesnar's wrath. When his suspension was lifted, Lesnar set his sights on Reigns again, but their scheduled clash at Day 1 was derailed when Reigns contracted COVID-19. Instead, Lesnar entered Raw's WWE Championship match and turned it into a fatal five-way. On January 1st, 2022, he captured his sixth WWE Championship by defeating Bobby Lashley, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, and Big E. At the Royal Rumble, things took an interesting turn. Lesnar lost the WWE Championship to Lashley thanks to interference from Reigns and a shocking betrayal by Paul Heyman, who realigned with Reigns. But Lesnar wasn't done yet. Entering the Rumble match as the surprise number 30 participant, he bulldozed through the competition to claim his second Royal Rumble victory, 19 years after his first win, setting a record-breaking gap. Lesnar's journey to WrestleMania 38 was explosive. After eliminating everyone in the Elimination Chamber to reclaim the WWE Championship, his showdown with Reigns was set as a winner-takes-all title unification match. Despite his best efforts, Lesnar fell to Reigns in a brutal clash on April 3rd, 2022. Not one to back down, Lesnar reignited his rivalry with Reigns in June, leading to a last-man-standing match at SummerSlam, built as the ultimate finale to their feud. In a chaotic showdown, Lesnar even brought a tractor to the ring, yes, really, but ultimately succumbed to Reigns after interference from the Usos and Heyman. Brock Lesnar's presence in WWE took another chaotic turn on the October 10th, 2022 episode of Raw. When he returned, Lesnar attacked Bobby Lashley, reigniting their heated rivalry. Despite being dominated in their match at Crown Jewel, a month later, Lesnar pulled out a win, setting the stage for more drama on Raw. At the event in January 2023, Lesnar cost Lashley the US Championship, and at the Royal Rumble, he eliminated a few competitors before Lashley sent him packing. Their feud ended at the Elimination Chamber when Lesnar, in true Beast Incarnate fashion, lost by disqualification after delivering a low blow and wreaking havoc on Lashley and the referee. Lesnar's WrestleMania 39 spotlight came in a surprising feud against Omos. After accepting the challenge and giving his manager MVP a high five, Lesnar overcame the Giant in a match that opened night 2, sparking rumors of his dissatisfaction with his placement on the card. The next night on Raw, Lesnar shockingly turned heel by viciously attacking Cody Rhodes before a tag match, igniting another intense feud. Their rivalry saw ups and downs, with Lesnar losing at Backlash, claiming victory at Night of Champions, and finally shaking Rhodes' hand in respect after losing their decisive match at SummerSlam. Now, as reports swirled about Lesnar's planned return at the 2024 Royal Rumble and a potential feud with Dominic Mysterio, a dark cloud descended. The lawsuit filed against WWE co-founder Vince McMahon revealed serious misconduct, including accusations against Lesnar himself, who was identified as part of the allegations. But this wasn't the first time. Lesnar found himself in hot water. His career has seen him arrested for substance use and caught in numerous controversies before, proving that while Brock Lesnar dominates in the ring, chaos often follows him outside of it. Let's take a quick look at the arrest before we finally dive into the lawsuit. So why did Brock Lesnar get arrested? Brock Lesnar is undoubtedly one of the greatest WWE talents to ever step into the ring. He transitioned quickly from amateur wrestling to professional wrestling, especially given his relatively young age and limited experience. However, like many athletes, Lesnar's past isn't entirely free of controversy, and he frequently encountered the law. When he first entered WWE, Lesnar was seen as one of the biggest stars of the 21st century, yet his promising career faced a serious setback when he was arrested during his early years. Back in 2001, Lesnar was arrested on charges of steroid possession while working in WWE's developmental territory, OVW. At just 26, this accusation had the potential to derail his budding career. Lab tests later revealed that the substances weren't drugs, and the charges were dropped after 4 months. The situation could have been a major PR nightmare for WWE, but Lesnar walked away unscathed, his reputation intact for the moment. Fast forward to 2016, Lesnar returned to MMA, stepping into the octagon at UFC 200. While he defeated Mark Hunt in a unanimous decision, his victory was tainted by a failed drug test for banned anti-estrogen substances. Lesnar's win was overturned and he faced a $250,000 fine and a 1-year suspension. But that's not all. The latest and perhaps most damning chapter involves a lawsuit filed by former WWE staffer Janelle Grant. She accused WWE co-founder Vince McMahon of sexual abuse and alleged that McMahon coerced her into creating explicit content for a top WWE star described as a UFC fighter. Reports later identified this wrestler as none other than Brock Lesnar. In the lawsuit, which names WWE, Vince McMahon, and former talent relations head John Laurinaitis as defendants, Grant detailed disturbing allegations of abuse, exploitation, and systemic misconduct during her time with the company. Grant, hired as an administrative coordinator in WWE's legal department in 2019, claims McMahon manipulated and pressured her into degrading sexual situations under the guise of professional opportunities. In June 2021, she alleges that McMahon and another executive locked her in her office and sexually assaulted her. Days later, McMahon reportedly trapped her in his private locker room where the abuse allegedly continued. Adding to the harrowing claims, Grant provided explicit screenshots of text messages from McMahon submitted as evidence, including one in which McMahon allegedly declared, "I'm the only one who owns you." In another vile message, McMahon reportedly wrote to Grant, "and controls who I want you," further describing her as an object to be used by others in WWE, adding that she might scream and try to say no, although it would be difficult to protest. Grant also accuses McMahon of sending explicit photos of her to others in WWE and directing her to engage in sexual acts with Laurinaitis before work. The lawsuit paints a picture of systemic exploitation, with graphic accounts of McMahon using Grant as leverage in professional negotiations. One particularly bizarre text sent in 2019 before her official hiring referenced the T-Rex skull famously displayed in McMahon's office. Allegedly, McMahon texted her, "Sick BTW, if you're a bad girl, the T-Rex will eat you. Seriously, Janelle, wherever you land in WWE, you will be a credit to the organization." On May 5th, 2019, Grant visited McMahon at his condo, where he allegedly made several sexual advances, despite her clear discomfort. As she tried to discuss WWE storylines with him, McMahon reportedly suggested she watch WWE Raw and text him during the show. When she agreed, McMahon is said to have forcibly kissed her and attempted to undress her, prompting her to leave abruptly. The disturbing interactions didn't stop there, and in another exhibit, Grant recalls a text exchange with McMahon. During a live Raw broadcast, McMahon's response to Grant's message left her shocked, making her feel he was deliberately trying to keep her under his control. When Grant officially joined WWE in June 2019, her situation grew even worse. She alleges that McMahon continued to pressure her into sexual acts while she was finalizing her role, even ignoring her refusal to stop. Over time, Grant says her work life was overshadowed by McMahon's behavior. While her colleagues were overburdened with work, she claims her inbox was filled only with explicit messages from McMahon. By the summer of 2019, Grant says she felt constantly surveilled by McMahon's allies at the office. His interactions with her outside of work reportedly focused only on sexual talk, and any professional messages she sent were met with minimal or ignored responses. On February 3, 2020, McMahon reportedly informed Grant that rumors about their relationship were circulating, rumors he said were damaging to both of them. As a result, he temporarily moved her to the XFL's workforce, but when Grant tried to leave WWE permanently by transferring there, McMahon denied her request. The situation worsened when McMahon allegedly began sharing explicit images of Grant with others, despite previously urging her to stay quiet. In one shocking exchange from March 6, 2020, McMahon detailed how a former WWE referee had seen one of the images, and by March 30th, McMahon reportedly told Grant that the referee had shown her explicit image to others. marking the start of him allegedly circulating these photos without her consent. And a concerned Grant asked McMahon to confirm that she was not interested in engaging sexually with the people who had seen the images. The harassment then escalated, with subsequent exhibits describing a disturbing account in which Grant was allegedly coerced into a threesome with McMahon's associate, a physical therapist, and McMahon reportedly shared fantasies about her sexual encounters that further revealed the abusive nature of his actions, sending messages that gushed about others seeing her body, tying her up and directing friends to have their way with her. And while the original filings include crude, explicit passages, the core allegation is clear and chilling. Grant says McMahon repeatedly pressured, humiliated, and exploited her, and these messages and incidents are part of a pattern of behavior she alleges continued over time. And sexually charged, McMahon's texts are claimed to include disturbing fantasies, including trafficking Grant among other WWE employees, and in one message, he allegedly threatened to sexually assault her if she knocked on his door. As the texts progressed, McMahon is accused of asserting control over her, bragging about sharing explicit images with other men, and ignoring her when she tried to discuss her work anniversary. John Laurinaitis also emerges in the complaint, with Grant saying McMahon forced her into a sexual relationship with Laurinaitis and helped arrange the exchange of explicit content between them. The suit alleges McMahon coached Grant on how to perform, even dictating her words, and celebrated a threesome with Laurinaitis, claiming Laurinaitis thanked him repeatedly. McMahon allegedly pushed Grant to schedule times when she could be with other men, including Laurinaitis, and the abuse continued with claims that McMahon assaulted Grant and involved her in degrading situations with associates, repeatedly reminding her of her subjugation and texting that she was his slave. In a particularly shocking allegation, McMahon is accused of arranging a sexual encounter between Grant and a WWE superstar who was negotiating with the company, treating her as a commodity in the process, and allegedly saying that after he told the wrestler part of the deal was you, the wrestler replied that she would be ruined after him, Brock. Lesnar was identified as the WWE superstar described in the lawsuit, with claims that Vince McMahon instructed Janelle Grant to create explicit content specifically for Lesnar, and a meeting was even planned, though the arrangement reportedly fell apart when Grant made excuses to back out. In 2022, McMahon allegedly distanced himself from Grant after his wife, Linda McMahon, discovered their relationship and threatened him with a public divorce. To resolve the situation, McMahon is said to have pushed for a non-disclosure agreement to keep things quiet. Yet he reportedly continued to send sexual text messages to Grant, even encouraging her in January 2022 to send explicit content to Lesnar and requesting she share those images with him. In July 2022, McMahon stepped down from his role at WWE after reports surfaced that he had paid multiple women $14.6 million in hush money to cover up allegations of sexual misconduct. McMahon later returned to WWE in January 2023, playing a key role in the company's sale to Endeavor Group Holdings, which also owns UFC. WWE and UFC later merged to form TKO Group Holdings, with McMahon taking on the role of executive chairman. Neither McMahon, Laurinaitis, nor Brock Lesnar has publicly commented on the allegations, though McMahon's lawyer, Jerry McDevitt, stated in 2022 that McMahon and Grant had a consensual relationship, even though Grant had not been publicly named at that time.